Right now at 5, Pittsburgh School District institutes a new cell phone policy.
Well, we've got a much colder start to the day out there. A chilly day ahead of us, setting a bit on the breezy side. A look at that forecast, get you out the doors coming up.
Plus, drivers in the Show Me State are no longer allowed to touch their phone while driving. Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is now Tuesday, December the 10th.
Yes,
We're trucking right along. We got a lot more toys today, though. Toy Box Tuesday, so we'll have our telethons today, noon, 5, 6, and 9.
Yes, we will.
So
Always
make sure
exciting.
Call in, donate, and of course we have drop-off locations here at the station, our office down there. We have in Joplin. We've got a whole list on our website, KOAMnewsNow.com. So make sure you help make a child's holiday even brighter.
Absolutely.
That's the most important part. That's the main reason for this. It's not for us, and it's not for us to go, oh, cool, look what we did. It's to help kids in the 4 states, and you can help today. And I will. Well, I'm not going to help you, unfortunately. I can tell you, though, that it's going to be cold, and it's a really good day to stay inside and consider donating to the KOAM Toy Box campaign. We'll start with a look outside from our camera in downtown Pittsburgh. We've got partly cloudy skies across the region this morning, and, of course, it is much colder. That cold front, again, it took a minute for the cold air to get in behind it, but, boy, once it settled in, it settled in. MoDOT camera, 20th and range line, looking pretty good as well. Onto the future track we go. Now, sometimes we talked about this. I feel like it overdoes the cloud cover. I think we're looking at partly cloudy skies by this afternoon. Winds are going to pick up, though, so we're looking at gusty winds across the area. But the other issue that we're going to face is just the cold weather. Now, I think the majority of us should make highs in the low 40s today. There might be a couple of upper 30s, but I think we should at least be able to pull off the low 40s before skies begin to clear late this evening and overnight, and things get considerably colder. Speaking of cold, it is 32 in Joplin as well as Pittsburgh. You can see we've got a light north breeze for now, but we're still getting some of those gusts out there. Temperatures, all of us hanging out into the 30s this morning, but then you factor in that wind, all of us hanging out in the 20s when it comes to those wind chills, low, mid, and upper 20s. So definitely feeling like a cold start. So kids getting on the bus will want a coat for sure. 32, north winds gusting to 25, maybe 30. They'll ease up a bit by late morning into the afternoon, gusting to 20 to 25 out of the north. And we're going to again bake about the low 40s, 43 when the bus brings them back home. We'll spend the majority of the day partly cloudy, of course cold, breezy out there, low 40s, and then skies will begin to clear as we head late evening and overnight. Of course, without cloud cover, that means it's going to allow it to get even colder tonight, which, believe it or not, means it's going to be colder tomorrow. But remember, the roller coaster ride doesn't stop. It's going to warm right back up again as we head toward the end of the week. We'll talk about all that, plus maybe some rain chances here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Authorities yesterday confirmed they've recovered a woman's body from the ruins of a house fire in southeast Kansas. That fire occurred Saturday morning in the Crawford County community of South Radley. Firefighters from multiple departments responded, and now the state fire marshal's office is investigating, and authorities are awaiting results of an autopsy on the woman. They're withholding a name until they make a positive identification. An investigation into a woman's death follows an officer-involved shooting in Missouri this weekend. Authorities in Festus responded to the incident Sunday morning. Now, officers identified the truck involved and tried to stop the driver, who sped off. The truck then hit a concrete median and flipped. Authorities say the suspect then came out of the truck with several weapons. Police returned gunfire and struck the suspect multiple times. The man was taken to a local hospital. No word on his condition. Police say they found a woman dead inside the truck, and authorities have not released the names of the man or the woman. Emergency crews in Newton County, Missouri responded to reports of a single vehicle crash that became much more. A vehicle left the road and struck a tree around 8 yesterday morning. While responding to that crash, a Newton County ambulance was also involved in a crash. As those crashes were both being attended, there was another 2-vehicle crash. All 3 crashes took place on Gateway Drive. 4 people involved in this series of crashes were transported to area hospitals, all with non-life-threatening injuries. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. A change in Missouri law will soon carry a stiffer penalty for some distracted drivers. Starting January 1st, Missourians will face a potential citation for handheld use of their phones while driving. KOAM's Lonnie Walton spoke to an expert on how you can comply with the law.
Soon, drivers will be able to begin receiving tickets and fines for holding their phone while they're driving.
Nick Shabaria is the spokesperson for AAA Missouri. Although the law is already active, Shabaria says this year you'll just get a warning. But Shabaria says that's stopping soon. You'll get a citation if you're not hands-free starting January 1st.
You can, of course, still use your navigation or, connect to Bluetooth for audio apps. You just can't hold your phone in your hand or have it in your lap or support it with any part of your body.
We caught up with a four-state driver, and he says he does what he can to stay hands-free.
Bluetooth most of the time. I use it for maps, and then I like listening to podcasts too, music.
Although the law is put in place to stop drivers from touching their phone while driving, Shabaria says there's some reasons why you can touch your phone.
And and the law kind of has some common sense exemptions built in. Drivers can still, use their phone manually if they're calling in an emergency or reporting a crime.
Shabaria says an officer can't simply pull you over for holding a phone in your hand. You have to commit other traffic violations first. The intention is to keep Missouri highways safer this coming year. Reporting in Joplin, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
Shabaria recommends using a phone mount, and he says you can find them to fit just about any make of car. Well, Pittsburgh schools will soon join the ranks of others banning the use of cell phones during class. USD 250 school board members fine-tuned the district's new policy yesterday evening. The basic rule: cell phones are not to be seen or used during class time. Now, that includes in the hallways and in bathrooms. During that time, phones can be on but have to be silent or in airplane mode. Also, wireless headphones or earbuds are no longer allowed. Corded headphones can be used with permission but can only be plugged into a computer, not a phone. The new district policy is set to go into effect January 1st. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes coming up on the KOAM Morning News. Webb City girls basketball aims for their first win of the season. We'll have those details. Plus, one of the most active volcanoes in the Philippines erupts, shooting ash up to 2.5 miles into the sky. And we have a cooler and partly cloudy day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
Well, the Lamar Tigers football team won their 10th state title in school history this past Friday. The Tigers quarterback Alex Wilkerson has now made it public that he plans to continue his football career at the collegiate level at an MIAA school. Two-time state champion quarterback Alex Wilkerson has committed to play college football at Emporia State University. Wilkerson rushed for 91 yards and 3 touchdowns this past weekend in the Class II state title game. He also threw for 167 yards and 1 touchdown pass in that game. Playing in his final high school game of his career, Lamar Sr. says he never lost faith in his team.
I never lost faith in us. I never lost faith in our team and our coaches and our community behind us. They got energy going there at in the last drive and just pushed us forward.
High school hoops tournaments around the 4 states get underway ahead of winter break. 2024 McDonald County Lady Mustang Classic began last night. A pair of local teams face off against a couple of schools from Arkansas. Round 1 of the 2024 Lady Mustangs Classic, Webb City Lady Cardinals taking on the Bentonville West Wolverines. First quarter, Cardinals had a good start, but the Wolverines had a better one. Reagan Crusenberry sinks the 3-pointer, and Bentonville West leads by 7. The Cardinals finding some rhythm. Check out this defense. Wolverines turn it over. Abby Sargent passes to Addie Burns, and she drains the 3. Big night from her. More on that in just a bit. Webb City leading by 6 points at halftime, and they didn't let off the gas pedal. Right out of the gate, Kira Long from the corner. It's an easy 3-pointer. Webb City extends their lead to 9. And here's Addie Burns. She gets in the paint and hits the jump shot for 2. She led the team in scoring with 14 points last night. Lady Cardinals never looked back in the second half. They win 57-46. They play Van Buren, Arkansas in the semifinals today. Next game up after that is the host of the tournament, McDonald County versus the Prairie Grove Tigers. Lady Mustangs are now 4-1 to start the season. They defeat Prairie Grove 65-50. McDonald County will advance in the tournament and will face Shiloh Christian tonight. Kansas City Chiefs have now won their 9th consecutive AFC West title after defeating the LA Chargers on Sunday Night Football. After the game, Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes talked about the trust he has with the special teams unit.
We could have maybe got it a little bit closer, but, I mean, when you're in that range, you're expecting to make the field goal, and we trust in our kickers, we trust in our special teams, and that's a huge part of what we do every single day, and we were able to make it and get the win. Even though I feel like we could have played better, I mean, that's a good football team, a good defense, and we were able to have a good last drive there to get us in field goal range. As long as we have a chance to go out there and have the football and make a play happen, I feel like we're going to make it happen. And giving Matthew the chance to kick the field goal, and he knocked it through.
Another local note here, Pittsburgh High School hosted a signing day ceremony for one of their students. That's Brian Martinez. Martinez is a power lifter, and he looks to continue his academic and athletic career to the next level by powerlifting at Coffeyville Community College. So congratulations to him and his family. Still to come, we're going to see how drinking coffee daily could help you live longer. Well, I'm on the right path, and we've got ourselves another check of that, whatever you want to call this roller coaster ride, wild waves of temperatures. We'll look at all that when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. Coming up on 5:17 now on this Tuesday morning. We're going to start the Future Track, and as I mentioned earlier, I think Future Track's going a little overboard on the clouds. Regardless, we're still dry, so even if we see a few more clouds, it's not going to bring us any rain, unfortunately. I do believe most of us should at least make the low 40s today. There may be a couple of upper 30s, but we'll have more of those as we head into our Wednesday. Skies will actually clear by late evening and overnight. And again, a little excessive, I think, on the cloud front here from the Future Track. I think we should start with clear skies tomorrow, but it is going to be a cold start. Upper 20s, low 30s by 5 a.m. Sunny skies tomorrow, still breezy. We'll have northwest winds gusting upwards of 20 to 25 miles an hour. And because we're going to have a pretty cold night tonight, it's not going to do a lot of warming tomorrow. So while most of us, again, should make the low 40s, a number of our northern counties could only make the upper 30s for our Wednesday. And winds begin to shift out of the south as we head into Thursday. So even though, it's a cold start Thursday, it will not be as cold of a day as we'll see temperatures by noon already into the upper 40s and low 50s ahead of a start to a much warmer weekend. And then we'll drop back off again. We'll get to that here in the extended forecast in a moment. Quick look outside. Skies are clear in Joplin. 32 does feel like 24 with the north breeze at about 10 miles an hour. And around the region, it again is a cold start out there. The majority of us low to mid 30s. And then you factor in that north breeze, and all of us with our wind chills sitting into the 20s. A lot of low to mid 20s out there. So a pretty cold start to say the least. We're talking about being about freezing when we start the day at 8. Partly cloudy skies. That'll be the thing through the morning. Now, of course, with the gusty winds, it's going to make it feel a lot colder out there today. Eventually up to 38 by 11 o'clock this morning. Into the afternoon, again, north breeze gusting 20 to 25. Partly cloudy, low 40s out there. But we're going to have those wind chills, and those are going to fall back in probably the upper 30s for most of us. So it's going to feel pretty darn cold today. We head into the evening hours. Now, the winds will actually ease up overnight before they pick back up again tomorrow. But they'll go ahead and make that switch out of the northwest. We'll have clearing skies and eventually clear skies out there. Low 30s by 10, and our overnight lows falling back into the mid 20s. As we head into our Wednesday, again, the northwest winds kick up again. It's going to be breezy. It's going to be cold. It's going to feel even colder with the gusty winds. And here comes the warm weather again into the weekend, back into the 50s, maybe a few showers on Friday. And go into Sunday, partly cloudy, mid 50s, a few scattered showers as we head into our Monday. Upper 50s, mid to upper 50s. So this climb, not as steep as what we've seen, but we will still warm up. And then as we head into Monday and Tuesday, we get another system in here. And guess what it does? Brings the temperatures right back down again. We're falling back into the low to mid 40s by Thursday. Temperatures overnight falling back into the 20s. So next week will be the 6th straight week of these up and down temperatures. Let's check your forecast. We're back with Health Watch right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning. A federal agency weighs a potential ban on red food dye. The FDA says it's reviewing a petition to ban red dye number 3 from being used in candy, drinks, and other food products. Now, the FDA says the additive, which is used in thousands of products, is safe to consume. But critics raise concerns of the dye being linked to health risks like cancer. The agency says it will review the petition and potentially act on it within the next few weeks. Well, drinking coffee daily may help extend your lifespan. A new review analyzed more than 50 scientific studies that looked at the impact of coffee on health and aging. Researchers found regular coffee consumption can add almost 2 years on average to a person's healthy life expectancy. The data also indicates it may help reduce the risk of several chronic diseases and conditions, including cancer, cognitive decline, and cardiovascular issues. The research found people who drank between 2 to 3 cups of coffee daily had a 15% lower chance of dying compared to non-coffee drinkers. The data was published in Aging Research Reviews. Women may need more sleep than men, but quality of sleep is what's most important. Now, sleep experts say women only need between 11 to 13 more minutes of sleep than men. But if a woman isn't sleeping well, she may need even more time to make up for the poor sleep quality. Now, some factors that can block a woman from sleeping well include stress, poor diet, and sleep hygiene habits, and alcohol intake. Women also face frequent hormonal changes and a higher risk of insomnia. Experts advise a person consult with a medical provider if they're having consistent sleep challenges. Well, it's been a relatively slow start to respiratory virus season, but U.S. health officials fear that trend is about to end as vaccination rates remain low. And it's already putting children and some minority groups at increased risk. Mandy Gaither has a look at where virus levels stand now and why experts say vaccination is a key to protection.
Across the U.S., respiratory virus season is ramping up. Emergency department visits for diagnosed RSV are now moderate for the first time this season, with a main increase in the illness among young children. And preliminary CDC data estimates up to 1.5 million flu cases, up to 22,000 hospitalizations, and up to 2,100 flu deaths between October 1st and November 30th. These viruses, along with COVID-19, are expected to increase.
The present vaccination rate is similar to previous years, but it's still running below what it did prior to COVID.
The CDC says vaccination for flu, COVID-19, and RSV will be key to preventing severe illness. The agency recommends everyone 6 months and older get the flu and updated COVID-19 shots. The one-time RSV vaccine is recommended for adults 75 and older and those between the ages of 60 and 74 at high risk of severe disease. Those pregnant can also protect against RSV with a shot between 27 and 36 weeks of pregnancy, and infants up to 8 months old born during this season can receive 1 dose of monoclonal antibodies.
Right now, RSV is the leading cause of infant hospitalizations in the U.S.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Another respiratory disease known as walking pneumonia is also spreading rapidly among young children. The CDC first warned of an increase in these infections in October, and trends haven't improved. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we've got a very cold start to the day out there. It'll be colder tonight. We'll have another look at your forecast for today when we come back.
Right now at 5:30, Missouri's Christmas City just marked a special mailing milestone.
And it feels a little more like Christmas out there. Pretty cold start to the day. Chilly afternoon. We'll have a look at that forecast. Get you out the door coming up.
Plus, a neighborhood in Missouri turns holiday lawn decorations into a chance to give to their community.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:29. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is Tuesday, December the 10th. Of course, Tuesday means it's Toy Box Tuesday.
Yes, always very exciting.
It's a very exciting time indeed. And we'll have, of course, our Toy Box Tuesday telethons today, noon, 5, 6, and 9. So we know times are tight, but call, give what you can, donate a toy.
Every little bit helps.
Yeah, everything will help to make another child's Christmas that much better. And we appreciate your help. 36 years of Toy Box Tuesday, which is just incredible. It's kids with their kids now that could be getting help by the Toy Box campaign. So make sure you call and donate and help us out. Check out our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. We've got links on there as well. And you'll find a link to the forecast, and we'll tell you that it's going to be cold today, and it's cold right now. Let's look outside with our camera in downtown Pittsburgh. The skies are clear, but we do have gusty north winds occasionally pushing 25, maybe even 30 miles an hour out there. Clear skies looking pretty good from MoDOT camera 20th and Range Line in Joplin. Onto the future track. So we could have, we're expecting partly cloudy skies today. Could have some brief periods of maybe some mostly cloudy skies. It's going to be breezy with the north winds gusting 20, 25 miles an hour. But I do believe the majority of us should make the low 40s today, but that will change tomorrow. Skies start to gradually clear through the late afternoon and into the evening hours. And of course, without the cloud cover, that will allow temperatures to fall back a little further tonight. Pretty cold out there though this morning, 32 both Joplin and in Pittsburgh. And across the region, temperatures holding on into the 30s so far, which is good, but we're getting close to the 20s. Nevada, for example, sitting at 30, but we're in the low and mid 30s. But then you factor in that wind, that north breeze making it feel like it is in the 20s, with everywhere with the exception of Cassville, it feels like it's 30. Everyone else is feeling like it is in the low to mid 20s this morning. So that means kids getting on the bus today, they're going to want that coat, about 32. North breeze, again, gusting 25, maybe 30, partly cloudy skies. When they come home, not much warmer, but a little warmer. 43, partly cloudy skies. North winds easing up about that much, gusting 20 to 25 miles an hour. And that'll be the case through today. Partly cloudy skies, maybe even some periods of mostly cloudy skies. Again, most of us, if not all of us, should at least make the low 40s today. Skies clearing this evening, and then it's going to get cold tonight. But don't worry, because it's just been that wild situation for 5 weeks now. We're going to warm back up as we head into the weekend. Details on that in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise? All
right, Chris, thanks. Well, a quirky idea in one Blue Springs, Missouri neighborhood has turned into a festive way to give to the community. It all started with one neighbor's idea to place 14-foot-tall Santas down the street, 21 in total. Now, soon the neighborhood began to notice increased traffic in their area. They turned their newfound attraction into an opportunity to benefit the Community Services League by asking for blankets, toys, food, clothes, whatever else would help.
We are definitely a family, and I think that that's what it's all about.
Just knowing that we can make a difference.
That's what a neighborhood is supposed to be.
It turns out the neighborhood has become so popular, the mayor has changed the name of the street to Santa Claus Lane until the end of the month. The U.S. Postal Service is having a busy holiday season. It delivered its 5 billionth piece of mail since Thanksgiving yesterday, and the milestone delivery took place in Knoll, Missouri, or as it's pronounced in December, Noel. And the community is always busy this time of year as people from around the world send packages there to get that festive postmark. Getting that 5 billionth piece of mail is especially remarkable.
It's really, really awesome. It's actually a blessing to be able to know that they do that much work over there.
The USPS has implemented more than 500 new package sorting machines to help postal workers sort and process packages more quickly. Well, Operation Santa continues through the Postal Service this year. Each season, thousands write letters to Santa through this program. Now, folks can adopt a letter that's written to Santa, buy a gift on that wish list, and ship it to the letter writer. Now, if you want to be a part of this program, you should know December 16th is the deadline to ship a gift. You can find more details about Operation Santa at KOAMNewsNow.com. And while you're out Christmas shopping, don't forget about Toy Box Tuesday. Now, you can donate a new toy anytime or today. We make it even easier for you to give. We'll have volunteers manning the phones during our noon, 5, 6, and 9 o'clock newscasts. And all you have to do is call in and we'll do the shopping for you. It's your chance to make Christmas a little brighter for every child in the 4 states. A Chetopa, Kansas woman is celebrating a milestone. Anita Sheffield reached the youthful age of 101 yesterday. And no surprise, she used the occasion to look back on a good life.
And I sewed for people and thoroughly enjoyed it and was still sewing. I sewed for people here in Chetopa and people in Oswego, but my eyes was getting where it was hard to see and hold my needle. But anyway, I love Chetopa too, but I've had a real good life.
Anita remains the definition of active thanks to her wheelchair, scooter, and walks around the apartment. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. At least 10 people have died after torrential rains and landslides destroyed nearly 200 villages in Indonesia. Plus, after more than 50 years, there is no member of the Assad family running Syria. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Well, topping World Watch, Pope Francis meets with the president of Slovakia, Peter Pellegrini, at the Vatican. They spoke for half an hour before meetings with Pellegrini's declaration. Now, they exchanged gifts, and the Slovakian president giving the pontiff a 3-dimensional artwork and a sculpture that shows a child helping another person get up, and with the words to love and to help written on it. The Pope showing the president some of his written works, and Pellegrini, a strong supporter of populist Prime Minister Robert Fico, was sworn in as leader of the country in June of this year. One of the most active volcanoes in the Philippines erupts, forcing emergency evacuations. A large plume of ash shot up to 2.5 miles into the sky yesterday from Mount Canlaon on central Negros Island. Now, a powerful explosion was also heard. Volcanic ash fell on nearby villages, prompting the government to order the evacuation of thousands of those living in surrounding towns. Now, disaster response officials raised the alert level to 3, which indicates an increased risk of lava flows and the potential for a hazardous eruption within weeks. This is the second time in 6 months that Mount Canlaon has blown its top. Well, several bodies have been recovered after torrential rains, landslides, and strong winds crushed nearly 200 villages in Indonesia. The extreme weather forcing more than 3,000 people to flee their homes on the country's main island of Java. The weather destroying more than 1,000 acres of rice fields as well as roads and bridges. More than 1,000 homes have been flooded. Seasonal rain from around October through March often causes flooding and landslides in the country. Well, after more than 50 years of a brutal rule, there is no longer a member of the Assad family running Syria. Bashar al-Assad and his family fled to Russia as rebels celebrated victory. The U.S. is monitoring the situation, but President-elect Donald Trump says America should stay out of it. Alex Hogan is in Tel Aviv, Israel, with the latest.
5 decades of a totalitarian regime toppled in less than 2 weeks. With President Bashar al-Assad fleeing to Moscow, this marks the end of his family's brutal rule of half a century and the start of a new chapter for the Syrian people. Syrian rebels seized Damascus Sunday, declaring the capital liberated on state TV.
All the unjustly detained persons from the regime's prisons have been released.
Thousands of people stormed prisons, desperately searching for locked-up loved ones, even using canines and combing through paperwork to track them down. The 13 years of civil war have displaced 12 million Syrians, half of the country's pre-war population. Now many of them are coming home and celebrating around the world.
I lost my family. I lost my father, mother, brother. I lost many of my friends in Syria for this day.
To prevent a power grab, the U.S. Air Force struck dozens of ISIS targets in Syria.
I think that we're going to find that we've been pretty successful.
And the Israeli military says it struck suspected chemical weapon sites and long-range rockets to prevent these weapons from falling into the hands of extremists. The rebels are made up of a coalition of groups. The strongest is HTS, which the U.S. designates as a terror group. The leader of HTS, Abu Muhammad al-Jawlani, has spent years renouncing ties to al-Qaeda and trying to rewrite his public image.
Statements by rebel leaders to these ends are very welcome. But of course, the real measure of their commitment is not just what they say, but what they do.
The rebel alliance has so far promised religious tolerance, a representative government, and today said that it would not give orders to women on how to dress.
And that's a look at World Watch. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It's coming up on 5:45 on this Tuesday morning. We're going to start with the future track. So by this afternoon, could have some partly cloudy skies, maybe a few mostly cloudy skies out there for at least a moment this afternoon. Otherwise, we all should make the low 40s today. We're going to have to deal with gusty winds, also pushing 20 to 25 miles an hour. So it's going to make it feel like it's pretty well in the 30s all day anyway. Now, by late evening, skies will begin to clear, and we are looking at clear skies overnight. And as we head into our Wednesday morning, winds ease up a bit this evening. They shift out of the northwest on us, and then we'll start to see them pick up again through the morning on Wednesday. And that we'll see northwest winds gusting 20, 25 miles an hour. And since we're going to have a colder night tonight, we're going to have a colder day tomorrow. And see, by noon, most of us in the 30s. We're looking at highs. We should see a number of low 40s, but some upper 30s will absolutely be possible. Now, by Wednesday late evening and overnight, take a look. Winds now back out of the south again. So yeah, Thursday, it's going to be another cold start, low mid-20s. But thanks to the south breeze, what do you think that's going to do? Well, it's going to bring in even warmer air again. So by noon on Thursday, we're going to be back into the upper 40s and low 50s, and that's how our Thursday will be. We're looking at partly to mostly cloudy skies, but temperatures, look, some of our friends in our southern counties could even make the upper 50s by Thursday. So this roller coaster ride isn't going to end, and next week it continues. Next week will be 6 straight weeks of not stable temperatures that just can't find a pattern, that are all over the place. They'll continue. We're at 32 in Joplin. Does feel like 24 though, with that north breeze at 10. Skies are clear. North winds across the region. So we've got Nevada. We mentioned to you earlier, you're down to 30 earlier. Now you've come down to 29. Most of us still into the 30s. Pittsburgh, Lamar, you may be up next to drop a little bit, but we're all, for the most part, excluding Nevada, into the 30s. However, with the winds, it feels like it is in the 20s for everyone, excluding Cassville, where it feels like it is 30, but it also, for a good number of us, feels like it's in the low 20s, so a cold start to the day. It'll be breezy. 32 to start, 38 by 11, partly cloudy skies. And with those north winds, again, gusting 20, maybe 25 miles an hour. Yeah, we'll make the low 40s, but the wind chills are going to be into the 30s the majority of today. By the evening hours, skies again will begin to clear out, down to low 30s by 10, falling back into the 20s overnight tonight with a northwest breeze at 5 to 10. And as I mentioned, the winds will pick up again tomorrow out of the northwest, gusting 20, 25 miles an hour, be upper 30s, low 40s. Then we're back into the 50s Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and even Tuesday, with maybe some rain chances late Friday and again on Monday morning. And then we get another front in here that will bring our temperatures down once again as we head from Tuesday into Wednesday and Thursday, back into the low to mid 40s by Thursday, lows dropping back into the 20s. That's checking your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
Well, 2 upcoming films show us very different types of danger, and one thankfully fictional and the other all too real. David Daniel has previews of both in today's Hollywood Minute.
West Tower Observation Post, your home for the next 365 days.
There is no outside communication here.
What's that on the other side?
That is East Tower. Contact with the other side is strictly forbidden.
So what's the mission? To keep people from going in the gorge?
No. You need to stop what's in the gorge from coming out.
Here's your first look at Miles Teller and Anya Taylor-Joy in The Gorge. The highly trained operatives bond while on assignment to protect the world from a mysterious evil in the latest film from Doctor Strange and The Black Phone director Scott Derrickson. See what's in The Gorge when it debuts February 14th on Apple TV+.
For decades, there were reports of neglect and children dying or disappearing from this facility.
2 girls drowned. Priests were moved around.
Why are they dying? Did they think we'd be stupid all of our lives, the rest of our lives, and nobody would ever find out these things?
Sugarcane looks at Indian residential schools run by the Catholic Church in Canada and the national outcry over forced separation, assimilation, and abuse. The documentary shows how a community came together to break cycles of intergenerational trauma. Sugarcane premieres Monday on National Geographic and Tuesday on Disney Plus and Hulu. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
A pair of cautionary close call crashes caught on camera drive home exactly how dangerous driving can be during the winter. Jeremy Roth has this and much more in today's Take a Look at This.
'Tis the season for driving dangers and road hazards like nail-biting near misses, slip, slide, and slams, and, miscellaneous, I guess? First to frosty Niagara, where authorities shared a harrowing dash cam of a speeding semi-truck swerving at the last second and sideswiping a maintenance vehicle working on a throughway. Officials say the driver ignored multiple lane closure warnings and was lucky no one was injured in the close call collision. Over in Kansas, a state trooper was lucky to be unharmed. Watch out. When while attending a vehicle accident in slick conditions, another car slid into the scene, colliding with their patrol vehicles.
Yeah, my car just got hit too.
The close call is another sobering reminder that driving in inclement weather requires extra vigilance. We could call this one Surreal Serpentine Serpent Scene in Australia. But don't worry, we don't have to. Snake handlers were called to a traffic stop and removed a highly venomous tiger snake from the inside of a vehicle on a Melbourne roadway. Officials say the driver somehow managed to swerve through traffic and safely stop when, without warning, she looked down and saw the deadly snake slithering up her leg. Ugh. Amazingly, no one was injured and the snake was safely removed. Finally, a bonus winter leg story that's no accident. One Floridian is purposefully using one of the most famous legs in movie history, the infamous leg lamp from A Christmas Story, to usher in the holiday season in the wackiest way possible. No word on if the 20-foot replica, complete with Ralphie's deranged Easter Bunny getup, will garner this guy any major awards with neighbors. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
That's certainly quite the replica there. Stick around. We'll be right back. A woman in Frisco, Texas has a unique way to celebrate the holidays, and the tradition goes back more than 3 decades. April Arnold has been painting, decorating, and displaying little homes inside what she calls a life-size snow globe. Now, it sits inside her garage, and she says she has approximately 60 houses inside the decoration. Now, that doesn't even include the trains and other various decorations. She says there's so much to enjoy every time you look at it, and the life-size snow globe will be available to view from 5:30 to 10 p.m. every night until the new year. Well, Santa said aloha to Waikiki beachgoers. The big man in red is getting in some time in the sun before his December 24th ride across the world. Now, Santa did some canoeing for his 19th annual visit to Waikiki Beach Resorts, where he spread holiday cheer in paradise. Locals and visitors helped Santa kick off the holiday season with music, dancing, and photo ops.
Santa's got to store in a lot of warmth before he takes that journey across the world on the 24th. So that's probably a good place to do it, down in Hawaii. I don't think it gets too cold down there too often, but it is cold here. We're going to be at 32 as we get the day underway by 8. Partly cloudy skies, 38 by 11. We'll have a north wind out there, occasionally gusting 20, 25 miles an hour. We'll go partly to maybe even occasionally mostly cloudy skies. The majority of us, if not all of us, should at least make the low 40s today. Skies will gradually clear as we head through through the evening and overnight, down to the low 30s by 10, mid-20s overnight, and that northwest wind eases up just a bit at 5 to 10, but it picks right back up again tomorrow, gusting back to 20 to 25. Highs low 40s, but some upper 30s absolutely possible. Another night in the mid-20s, and we start warming back up. We're in the 50s from Thursday through at least Tuesday, with some rain chances late Friday and then early Monday. And then by the middle of next week, another front comes in, drops our temperatures once again back through the 40s. That's Check Your Forecast. We're back with more after this.